Paranormal horror author Eve S. Evans introduces a brand new spine-chilling release. True Ghost Stories of First Responders, available on Amazon today. Don't believe in ghosts? This book might change your mind and steal any hope of sleep. These stories are unexplainable, true accounts from first responders, told from the perspective of everyday people. Think you can explain them? We dare you to try.
We're going to a slumber party. Hope it's not the last slumber party.
Hey guys, this is Alex and Emily with another episode of Gag Me with a Knife. We're going to talk about The Last Slumber Party from 1987 or 1988. We don't really know, since this movie is not even on Wikipedia and no one cares enough about it to have a consistent date listed anywhere. IMDb and the back of the box also say different things. So Emily, how about reading us the back of that VHS box?
Okay, so on the left side of the box, it says, "You're invited to a party, the last slumber party, where the girls are dying for a good time." On their last day of high school, Linda, Tracy, and Chris celebrate by having a slumber party at Linda's house. A few boys drop by, and the beer flows like wine. What? Okay. Just good, clean, fun-loving kids. But the girls have another visitor, one they don't yet know about. Hiding in the house is a homicidal maniac who has just escaped from a mental hospital. Armed with a scalpel, the nut slashes a little here, a little there, as he sneaks from room to room. One by one, the guests start disappearing. What evil lurks there? What nightmare world have they entered? Good question. The plot is twisted inside out, leaving you stunned and clinging to your chair as you witness shock after horrifying shock. The ending will leave you breathless. And now the blood flows like wine. What is this flowing like wine stuff?
I don't know. I mean, they drink whiskey and rum the whole movie. The boys drink beer. But they don't. They're drinking whiskey and rum. Like
beer's flowing like beer. Water flows like water. Blood flows like blood.
And blood isn't even flowing when some of these deaths. It just no flowing.
No, you don't even know where the cut is. And then wine flows like wine. So really, why do they all flow differently? So I mean, whatever. But okay. And the beer flows like wine. Like what?
They're trying to capitalize on a lot of like trendy things and debauchery, and it's just,
right, you're trying to make sense of this. Okay.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and so this movie it's just awful. I mean, it's painfully awful. I mean, I don't know why we did enjoy this growing up, but I
enjoyed it last night. Honestly, I watched it with my friend Katie, and it's like 70 minutes long.
It's super short.
It's short, and we enjoyed it the whole time just because it was just so. It's one of those. It's like a cult movie. It's like a movie that you have to show your friends because you're like, you cannot believe this unless you see it.
It's a cult movie that I'm gonna give either a 0.5 to 1 star. Like while I did laugh a lot, I think it gave me diarrhea after I finished. I mean, it's actually B&S Productions. Like, what a joke is that? That's who made the movie, B&S.
Yeah. And Steven Tyler is the director, but not the Steven Tyler.
Not that one, yeah.
And also, I tried to look up who did the music since they should be listed since it covers like nearly all of the dialogue when it's playing. And they didn't even give them credit at the end of the movie.
Oh, Fire Strike?
Was it actually them, or is that just who Riff Tracks says it is?
Well, that's what's on the cover of the poster that I'm looking at. Is that not what's on the cover of your box?
Oh no, you're right. On the very corner, it said featuring music by Fire Strike, FIRSTRYKE, all one word.
Whoever they are. You know what? The better theme song would have been probably "Slumber Party" by Britney Spears on her Glory album.
They should just change it now.
They should just re-release it with Britney Spears from, her 2006 song. Sorry, 2016 song.
Fire Strike did music for Dawn of Titans and Nerf and Strike or something. I don't know.
Well,
There's no information about them. So.
just like the actors, this group seems to be bottom of the barrel. And I'm pretty sure these actors thought they were in a Charlie Chaplin film, because what the fuck? There's no screams, no crying. There's just lots and lots and lots of eye acting, like a silent film. Like, what is this?
Oh my God, I did find a little bit more and they're still active. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Okay, so your thoughts on the movie in general, more like going a little more into it.
A little more, well, other than it's painfully awful, the production company sums it up with BNS, and half the movie is like a rock video, half of it sounds like dying cats playing dying violins, and it's partly like a Charlie Chaplin film because there's literally no emotion. Well, no, that's not Charlie Chaplin. There's emotion with him anyway. There's no gasping, no screaming, no crying, just lots of walking and eyes bulging, and the same scalpel 100 times to the screen with the same 3 drops of blood on it. So that's about all I can muster at the moment. I'm sure we'll have a little more commentary as we dissect this movie some. But what about you?
I mean, it is a movie I can watch more than once just because it's so ridiculous. And there's just so much that, like, oh my God, there's just so much. So I guess the guy is okay. First of all, there's a whole scene at the beginning where it's a girl that's not even in the movie, and like except for in this part, and she sees the guy. So he's already escaped, but they have a weird flashback at the hospital where the doctor was talking to him about a lobotomy, and he pulls him down. Doesn't look like he's hurting him. He looks like he's trying to make out with him.
It looks like he's trying to like push his head down to give him a blowjob.
Yeah, or something. And then
and P.S. That was the worst flashback transition.
You don't understand either. Like it doesn't really tell you it's a flashback. You just kind of have to like assume because the guy's already escaped. And I thought there was a scene in the movie where it shows him like killing an orderly and escaping, but I realized that was from Sorority House Massacre. So
definitely
anyway,
Sorority House Massacre.
So then we cut to this classroom where it's like Mr. Cotter's the teacher, and it's playing like some kind of like, it sounds like a demo of a band. And it's not metal. It's like a let's go out tonight or whatever. And they're all talking, but you can't hear what they're saying because
One night in Bangkok.
So loud. Music is so loud. So then they get out of school because it's presumably summer vacation. And they're walking down, like the 3 girls are walking down.
Oh
and
those pants that they're wearing are horrible. They look like they're car mechanics. What is this?
And Chris clearly flubs her line when she goes, "Don't be so stupid, Linda." And then she makes like a face and pulls her hand up like to the girl that plays Tracy, like trying to say like, just go on with the next line. I forgot the rest of it. Ugh. And you would think, I know they probably didn't I mean, it was shot on video. So, I mean, like, why couldn't they just go back and fix that? Because it's like so obvious she flubbed her line. And then, also, I do want to give a trigger warning for this because I am going to be discussing the insane amount of homophobic slurs in this movie because they are ridiculous. It's almost at a comical level just because it's so stupid. So they decide they're going to have their party at Linda's, even though her parents are home, because the doctor doesn't know he's going to get called. No, he does. I guess he does know. He gets called in again during during the 75th dream sequence. I don't know. So they show up there. Doctor leaves and he goes to the gas station to get orange juice. Mom told him to get it on the way home, but whatever. I'll let that slide. He sees the boys in their car drinking. And
yes, there's a lot that's already happened since this, but like or between this and the beginning to me. But one of the things that's happening now and always, why is Linda's dad literally like all over town in his scrubs and white coat? Like, we get it, you're a doctor. Like, but what
also, are you doing? He looks like he's like really using old like 1980s version of like Hair for Men or something.
It's awful.
Anyway,
It's
because
like
he goes from having
hair
a
in a
bald
can.
spot to not having a bald spot a lot, and you
It's
can
hair in
tell
a
it's just like
can.
sprayed in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also they have that like whatever it looks like a radio, but with a TV screen superimposed over it, telling the girls and the dads there that there's like an escaped maniac, and I don't know why he doesn't put two and two together, and he's going back to the hospital. Okay, whatever.
My favorite
But
part of that news alert was when it goes, an unidentified sharp object, possibly a surgical instrument. So it's likely a patient, a staff member, or anyone else.
so it could be maybe anyone.
Anyone.
So, okay, when he sees the boys, this is one of my favorite scenes when the doctor sees the boys at the gas station and the boys hide the beer. He has the most awkward, long, slow
Oh
conversation
my God.
about getting orange juice.
About orange juice.
And you can tell he's like reading, like someone had like a car, like big, those big like poster boards with the lines on it or something. And they were like switching them out per line because he stops in between everything he says. He's like, she told me under no circumstance to get orange juice. So I'm going to do it. I mean, like, come on. Like, also, you're getting it before you go to work. She told you to get it on the way home. But
where's he going to put it? In the morgue?
I mean, I guess they have a fridge there, I'm sure, but whatever. If you remember, she tells him later, don't worry about the orange juice. But he should have already bought it since he bought it on the way there, but he still doesn't bring it home.
He still doesn't bring it in. He leaves it in the break room, I guess.
So then we cut back, and this is what their idea of a party is Chris and Tracy are just jumping up and down, holding each other's arms like
oh my
they're
God.
dancing.
You know who they reminded me of, though? It's most prevalent in the Peanuts Christmas episode, but they are in Peanuts every now and then. There's these two characters that are just like hands in the air and they're like slamming their head back and forth and they're just jumping up and down. I might have to like show a GIF or something or share this once we launch this episode, but they reminded me of the Peanuts dancers.
And then immediately after they just stop and one of them says something like, "I'm so bored I could go to sleep." Okay, well, bitch, do it then. I mean, like,
right.
So the boys come by and they have, okay, I was waiting for Chris to start, like, she takes a while to start doing the homophobic rants, and this isn't the part, but when she does, she doesn't stop. So she just,
but they started before this too, when the boys were in the car or at the gas station or whatever, and they're giving, I don't know, 27 masturbation jokes in like 5 seconds, and then they talk about they start making fun of everybody, him being gay and everything.
That's not, but they don't say the words.
I know, Chris is outrageous.
Yeah, Chris is, and also by the way, and I did hear this was something someone said in on the Hysteria Continues podcast. I think I also said it about Laura Beth, whatever, from Sorority House Massacre. But, you think Linda should be the final girl because she's
it's her house.
Yeah. But for one, Chris walks around that house answering phones and everything like she lives there. And on top of that, she is like a sponge that sucks up any joy or interesting aspects of the movie or the people in it. It's she's horrible. She's the worst final girl.
Her attitude, her mouth, her hair, her reactions,
her dark undercircle, like what?
That's when they make her wake up at 3 a.m. They rough her hair up and make her look like she's got giant bags under her eyes.
She already has dark circles under her eyes before, and I'm like, bitch, you are not in high school.
Like she's the worst final girl ever, and I'm so upset.
So that the guys come by for a second, they scare them in the window, and it's whatever. They're like, "There, you asshole." That's when they start changing their accents every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds. Yeah, I didn't know if I really didn't know if Chris was like from Jersey or from Texas.
Right. And they shot it in Louisiana, but most of them go from having a Southern accent to like either a Midwest accent or like a Jersey accent.
And the girls are so quote unquote grossed out and offended. Like, I don't understand. They were so vehemently, whatever. They were just egregiously upset by two dudes scaring them with the freaking rubber mask on. Like, what?
And they keep on telling Linda that, like, she just has to do it with Scott. Like, why are they forcing her to fuck Scott? I mean,
God.
whatever. Okay, so then the boys whatever.
Bad.
The boys do come back, and the blonde one, whatever his name is, he's it's either like Billy or what's his name? I don't know, Billy or Tom or something.
Well, there's Billy and Tommy.
Yeah, I think it's Billy. I think his name's Billy. But so that he comes up, and this is also one of my favorite parts when they pull him in, and
Oh, no, that's Tommy with the big ass.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Don't ask. For clarification, I don't think he has a big or fat ass like a hot ass. They make this comment. So I wanted to clarify to our listeners here that I am not remotely attracted to this man.
Also, okay, before they pull her in, they show the room.
Oh my God.
A Sesame Street poster, a Bee Gees poster,
and a unicorn poster.
And I'm like,
Sesame Street poster was second level, and it was behind the door, so like you can tell she's ashamed. But like, what the fuck?
You see it so many times too, and I'm like, in 1988, the Bee Gees were not popular anymore. That was like when disco sucked, quote unquote. You know, like
and every time they sort of show it in the back, once you know it's Bee Gees, like later on you can still see it. Like
there's a Beatles poster somewhere.
No, that's the Beatles. What I'm thinking of then, because it just shows one face, and I swear, blurred out from a distance, it looks like Leatherface. It doesn't look like anybody from the Beatles.
Okay, so back to pulling in Tommy, right? Okay.
Yeah, Tommy.
And he acts like upset or something. I don't know. And she says something about, oh, why are you upset? Did someone rip your Calvins? And he like out of nowhere turns around and screams, "Fuck you, whore!"
and then
it's so overdone.
And he didn't realize that like the killer was down there grabbing his ankles while he's climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
He's like, "F you, whore!" Oh my God.
But yeah. So then this is where Chris starts with a little bit. So she and Tommy are gonna retire to the master bedroom, which is Linda's room. So A, not the master bedroom. B, you're just like going to use Linda's bedroom. You didn't even ask her. And you see her on the way in the hallway, and she doesn't even. She's like, she acts. She doesn't even care. Whatever.
And I think that it's right before this whole scene. Isn't this? It might be Chris. It probably is Chris. Someone's like, "Well, happy trails, partner, and don't expect to be welcome back."
No, this is after. This is after. This is later. This is after this time because it's when he's dead. So they go up there to have sex. She goes to take a shower, and somehow after she takes the shower, her hair is completely dry. But anyway,
this is Linda, right?
No, this is Chris.
Oh,
when she goes up there to have sex with Tommy.
Oh, okay.
But he's gotten killed while she was in the shower. So the bedspread has been taken off the bed because he's been hung in the closet. And she's like, the first thing that comes to her mind that could have happened is that he's gone to sleep in his car. So it's like, okay.
Well, they sort of made a little thing just to sort of explain it. That he's kind of flighty and drunk, and this might be something he would do, just bail and
sleep in his car with someone else's bedspread. I mean, I don't think that'd be the first thing I would think, but okay. So then also the wallpaper in this house is can make you sick to look at.
Well, you said, this is what nightmare world have they entered? Well, it looks like the most dizzy Willy Wonka staircase I've ever imagined in my life, and I really need Dramamine just to watch the scenes. I
really tried to be positive about the wallpaper, and I said, it might be cool if it was like on a very small accent wall or something like that, but not on a whole fucking stairwell and in the hallway. Anyway.
Who are you, Martha Stewart? What is this?
I don't know. I was trying to find something good out of it. Which is what I don't know why. So she goes downstairs and they're like, "Where's Tommy?" And she goes, "On."
It's awful. It's like, but it's probably one of the best the most quotable scenes of the movie. Sure.
Oh, that homo stole the bedspread.
I mean, like, what? Okay. That makes sense.
That homo stole the bedspread. At this point, she's already called him a queer bait.
She's called him a lot of things, probably.
I think she's called. Her 4 words are queer bait, homo, and what's the other one?
I don't know, equally as horrifying and awful for sure. But like that's what I was saying about earlier when the beer flows like wine. It's like during this movie they just keep throwing in all these quotes just to like find something to stick and like grab the audience in 87 or 88, we don't know. They just throw all of these.
I mean, it does grab you, but not in the right way.
It didn't grab me.
I'm just saying, like, you do pay attention to it. It's just not in a good way.
Not in a good way, but yeah, she's outrageous.
Absolutely. So then it's very okay. So I guess Billy comes at this point. Tracy acts like she hates him, but then they go into Linda's room again to have sex. She goes in to take a shower.
Why is everybody taking a shower in this?
I don't know. And she goes in and she says, "If you need me, you know how to whistle. Just
part your lips.
Part your lips and blow." What?
Yeah, that's not
sexy. I don't know what that is, but whatever. Okay. Then, so he gets killed by science, I think, because science has shown up. So there's two killers, because I remember when he kills Billy, you see the actual killer over in the corner. And he's mad because he's like taking away one of his victims.
So, and I couldn't tell if that was...
You don't know where he got stabbed, because it's just it looks like he got stabbed in his teeth.
In his left nostril and all his teeth. But like, first of all, because I didn't understand if they just messed up and you pulled the wrong guy wearing scrubs on set, which might make sense too.
No, I think that especially when you consider the last part of the movie where it's just dream sequence after dream sequence after dream sequence, I think that they did mean to have, they're like, this will be cool. We'll have another guy that is wanting to come in and kill people.
Well, and the funny thing is with
and
this,
they don't even bully him that bad. I mean, like that, them being
really
like, hey, science, yeah, of course your watch would be set on the school's alarm. Like, that's not enough to make you want to go kill somebody.
No.
Or even saying that you jerk off, which they tell him that at the gas station. I mean, like, none of this is like severe bullying. It almost seems like they're friends with him too in the first scene he's in with them, but whatever.
But the guy, when he invites him in the window, first of all you see, and this is the only time, or one of the only times, because you're always seeing the maniac with like wearing a surgical mask and his bulging eyes, but this is the time you see him, and it's like a V cut. Like, well, they had some deeper V cut, like scrub top.
No mask.
But hairy is fuck chest, but then it's not even the same scrub top as the maniac is wearing. But either way, why would you just invite either science in, or...
He doesn't invite him in. He comes. He
climbs in the window.
Oh no, he does.
He's like, "Come on in," and then starts.
Well, because he's like, "What are you doing here?" Probably because he thinks they're friends.
Oh, poor science.
What an idiot!
But then it does show the maniac being like in the corner.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh my god, don't take it." Okay, unless there's another thing. I counted. I lost count, but it's either like 6. I think it's like 6 times. Every single time that you see the maniac, the main maniac walking around with his surgical knife, there are 3 or 4 drops of blood on, and it's the same footage. Every time they show it. It hasn't changed. They used it over and over and over every time they had him walking around with the scalpel. And I tried to find a picture of it, but I don't know why there's not a picture of it, but I couldn't find one. So.
I mean, it actually scared me the 11th time I saw it.
Yeah, because you were like, what's happening? Like, okay, so after all this, they decide to go to sleep, I guess, but then, so they show a clock for way too long. The first time I saw this movie, I just didn't understand. I was like, why the fuck are they showing this clock for so long? And I guess that's to show time is going by. So Chris wakes up. She goes upstairs. No, this is the second time she wakes up. Never mind. Sorry. She gets up and like her friends are ghosts with blood on them saying, help me, Chris, help me, Chris, help me. And so she just acts like an idiot for a while, running around the house, whatever, not leaving, answering the phone since she thinks it's her house. So then we show the clock again. So time has gone on again. She wakes up from that dream and she goes upstairs and finds her friends. And she's like, I just had the weirdest dream, blah, blah, blah. Then people start dying. And I don't know if it's this time or the next time that she walks outside And then she turns around and Linda's like, get help. And she's been stabbed in the back. So instead of leaving, she goes back inside and she grabs a knife.
So since then, we've seen 2 people also already die. And I don't, and I think this was not in her dream, but Linda is making out with somebody upstairs.
No, she's not.
No, sorry, she's laying down. Sorry, she's laying down in bed.
But Scott shows up at some point, and I don't know what dream I don't know which time she's having the dream, but she stabs him.
Science is standing over Linda sleeping, and then all of a sudden, Dr. Eyes McEyeballs kills him. And then, right after that, like, Tracy walks in and sees this, and then Tracy backs away again. No screaming, no crying, no talking, no nothing, just eyeballs. And then the killer walks behind her and muzzles her. We don't see her die.
I think that's the first dream. No, the first dream is where they're going, help me, Chris.
Yeah, this is after the dream.
Then she wakes up and she's back in reality, but then somehow she goes, whatever. I don't know which part it's in.
She goes outside.
There's so many dreams in this. It's like, even right after I watched it, I asked Katie, who I was watching it with, I was like, okay, so which was the dream that she had before she woke up again, and then something happened, and then it ended on the surgeon? She's like, I don't know which one. She's like, because we were like, this is immediately after watching it because we were so confused.
Yeah.
So I guess she wakes up again. She goes to sleep, wakes up again. That's when she goes back in the house because the killer's clearly in the house. So I don't know why she didn't leave, but whatever. And she goes and gets a knife, but it takes her forever. Yeah. Well, and that's when she acts. The only person that she kills with this knife is she accidentally kills Scott.
Right.
And then it's like this really long, like 2-minute view of her eyes, and she's backing up like, what have I done? Who cares? I don't. And then I think she gets killed or something like that, and then she wakes up again.
Oh no, we still got. She doesn't get killed still yet.
No, but she wakes up again because it's daytime at this point, and
but after she kills Scott, she walks upstairs because the whole time I'm thinking, first of all, after Linda falls into the door and then Chris comes back in, she goes to the phone, picks it up, but then doesn't call anybody. Then she goes to the drawer.
That's because that phone had if you look closely,
it was cut.
Cord was cut, yeah.
But she never put it to her ear to listen.
She might have noticed that it was cut. So,
that's a lie. Well, her eyes didn't show that. That was the only thing I was relying on was her eyes. So then she does get the knife out of the drawer, and kills Scott accidentally. And then I'm like, well, go get the freaking mom. Go wake that bee up.
My mom's dead though.
Not yet. So then she's going upstairs.
Whatever, I don't know where we're at.
She's going into the bathroom, and then she opens the shower that's been turned on, and
there's blood everywhere in the shower.
There's some blood, but most of the things on there are, when girls get their long hair and they slam it to the side of the shower walls.
Yeah.
You just see lots of hair on the walls as well. And then the mom walks in and she just kind of casually steps in the room with she's about to say, hey, there's brownies downstairs. No, her throat's slit and she's dead now too.
So at some point, and I don't know if this is in the same dream or if Chris has gone back to sleep and this is something else, but Dad comes home. When he walks in, he somehow does not see the ladder that's right in front of him.
Yeah, so
he notices it on his way out.
Before the dad gets home, Chris already and the killer already had their encounter.
Right. So he sees this. He didn't see the ladder, but on the way out he does, which doesn't make any sense. But when he goes in, he even kisses his dead wife. Doesn't know she's dead. He's supposed to be a doctor, but she would have been cold by then anyway.
Well, she had a blanket over her head. He kissed her over the sheet.
It still makes no sense, but okay. So
you know what makes less sense is when he comes into first of all, when he gets to the house, he drives over the curb, and drives through the grass. Maybe you had a long shift, whatever. I'll overlook you driving through your yard, and if there was a mailbox, you would have hit it.
I won't overlook the fact that he is by far the worst actor in the movie, and that's a fact. And that is hard. That is a hard thing to be when everyone sucks.
Well, can you get over the fact then that he is fueling Team USA when he walks in the house and just pours himself a stiff glass of milk?
And then he drops it, but there's no milk in it when he drops the glass.
No milk. No milk at all.
He didn't drink it all in that time period.
Then the phone
he
rings.
gets a phone call, yeah.
And then
he can't. It takes him fucking 20 minutes to find the phone because every phone he picks up is dead. So I was like, follow the sound, idiot. Also, why do you have 75 phones in your house?
And it's upstairs. Like you would know if it's not the kitchen phone ringing.
I know. It really does not 20 minutes. It really does take him about 2 to 3 minutes.
The phone
which
rings
seems like eternity.
The phone rings about 27 times until he finally goes upstairs in a closed bedroom, and that's the phone that's ringing. And when when the first phone rings, he's going to get a broom to clean up the glass and open up the pantry, and then
he opens up the door, and that's where Linda is dead.
Yes, just awful. Just like he's awful.
He's worthless. And when he picks up the phone, the nurse is like, and this is it takes way too long for her to tell him this, but she's like, I don't want to tell you. I don't know how to tell you this, but there's that guy escaped. Okay, you were just there, and clearly he had escaped before then. And I thought when people were psychotic and like aggressive and evil and were prone to like fighting and shit like that you have like, not him personally, but there would be guards that do rounds every 10 minutes to make sure they're there. I mean, he was literally able to trick. Well, he tricked them by putting blankets under a sheet.
He had stuffed the blankets in the bed. I mean, hello, that always works.
I mean, but I'm like, it would work maybe in Full House, but like, if you're going when you do rounds and you're in a psych ward, you don't just open it up and like just assume. You go and look at the person. Like, I mean, like, what are you doing? That's not even a whatever. And he's been there for 8 hours, and he already knew there was a maniac on the loose. Why weren't they looking? I don't understand.
They were like, he's just really strong. The Thorazine just didn't work.
Yeah, and then he goes back to the hospital instead of like making sure his family's okay, because clearly, like, I mean, I would think that he was coming after me because he hated him because he was going to give him a lobotomy.
But he clearly doesn't give a shit about his family. He forgot the orange juice.
I don't think he has the ability to care, or at least show it, because he can't show anything.
It's pretty bad. It wasn't on the script. Or the
yeah. He was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Just I can read though. That was his audition. He was like, I've never acted before. I don't think I'm very good at it, but I can read.
And do you remember at one point, so one of the times that Chris comes back down the stairs earlier on and she turns on the TV, and I don't know if it's the YouTube version that I watched or if it's on the VHS, all of a sudden the movie just flips to an entire new movie with like people busting down a door and shooting down a monster.
So before the TV looked like it was actually a radio, and for some reason they made it look like a TV, which made no sense. Why didn't she? And also, if there wasn't an actual reporter on the TV, why not just listen to it on the radio? You don't just need like a freaking. There would be a reporter reporting on that. Whatever. Anyway.
I mean, it was just like a blank screen. Like
and then later on, it doesn't show it as if it's on that TV. It's just, it cuts into the movie. Like the whole movie is the screen.
Exactly. Like and again, just like the flashback, there's zero transition. I literally thought that my YouTube, whatever was like
your YouTube whatever
was wrong. Like it was like there was an error uploading the film or something. It was horrible. And then right after that, at some point, I forget who says who, but someone says, "Catch you later, alligator," and then she's. What's their appropriate response?
When they get out after a while, crocodile.
Do you remember what she says?
I know at one point in the beginning of the movie, whenever the dad's leaving, they all like, it takes like 10 seconds, but they finally go, bye.
They do. So they're awful at goodbyes and awful at catchphrases, because part your lips and blow. I thought whatever. And then, but she says, after a while, child. What?
Oh, yeah.
Is that, I mean.
No. That's not a thing.
I didn't think that was a thing. And then we forgot to mention that when she stabbed that guy earlier, I think you said his name was Scott, accidentally after her 2-minute like stare down with him on the staircase. She goes back down to the drawer of a million spatulas to get another knife. So this is a never-ending drawer of spatulas as well.
Yeah, and then she finally decides to go outside because the dad's laying face down in the pool. And then the killer comes in and kills her. But then she wakes up again, I think, and she's in her clothes at her house that she was wearing before she came over. She's wearing the clothes that she's wearing at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, so here's my note. I wrote...
Oh, the whistle line was in a movie To Have and Have Not from 1944 that Lauren Bacall. It's a famous whistle line. Okay.
Exactly. But that wasn't, didn't they say it incorrectly?
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Because I thought that my husband said they didn't have the rights to that, to say the quote. I don't know.
I don't think you have to have rights to.
Well, exactly. Well, they didn't have the right to make this movie. But no, when she goes out to check on the dad in the pool and turns him over, you can see his cut, but there's no blood in the pool. And then, so no blood in the pool. And then what's even more crazy is like
when they cut his neck though, it doesn't even like bleed. The blood doesn't start until midway through the neck slice, so you can tell it's like not a knife at all.
Yeah. Oh well, we forgot to say too. Then clearly the killer got in the dad's car when he went back to the hospital after the phone call, and then I
guess if you want to,
well, you have to. Well, or
you have to assume it, yeah.
But then the next part doesn't make sense. So maybe the real issue is after this. So, the dad walks into the hospital, into the elevator, and then gets his throat slit. So maybe the guy wasn't in the back of the car and literally just teleported to the elevator and waited on him. I don't know.
That would make sense for
and then teleported back.
So Chris wakes up though in her clothes so she goes to the slum. She goes back.
We're still not to her waking up yet. There's still more that's happened. So she looks out the window as the dad is driving away. Then when she gets down and runs downstairs, and as she gets downstairs, then the dad who was killed in the hospital is now floating in the pool.
Yeah.
I don't know why
she gets in the pool.
And as she gets in the pool, sees him, then she's backing away, clearly doesn't hear the guy splashing around in the pool as he jumps in and then slits her throat. Then she wakes up.
I was kind of just skipping that part because who cares?
I'm gonna have to watch this entirely too long 71-minute movie.
I thought we kind of already talked about it enough. So anyway, she wakes up in the clothes that she I guess she fell asleep at her house
after the phone call.
She gets a call from either like Linda or Tracy, and she's like, I just had the worst dream. It was dream within a dream within a dream, whatever.
Yeah.
And then
trying to explain her psychoses and her horrible experience to her best friend.
Does she go back? Does she go to the house after that, or does it just cut to the?
Right after that.
This is where I get confused because I don't know if right after that it cuts to the very last shot or what.
No, right after that, after she's explaining this horrible traumatic experience to her best friend, her friend was like, I'm bored out of my skull.
Yeah,
let's just go over to Linda's. I mean, what a bitch. So then the next scene.
Full story, I'm bored out of my skull.
Yeah, I mean, it's like she's literally, I'm bored out of my skull. So the next scene you see is them. They just parked their car, like, back in the day when you kind of curb it on the side with your two tires on the sidewalk. They park in front of Linda's house, and they're knocking on the door, and nobody's answering. Because Linda just got a phone call from the nurse being like, oh my God, is your dad home? Someone just escaped, blah, blah. We think he's going to be there. And then she gets
right. Okay. Yeah.
And then she goes to get her mom, opens the back patio door. And then while she opens the door, he's like, he, like Tom and Jerry, like sneaks in the house. And it's a freaking see-through.
Oh, he's right in front of her.
And you clearly see a mint green blob.
There's no way she wouldn't have seen him. I remember that.
So she goes back in. And so while she's going back in the house, Tracy and Chris have been knocking on the front door. Well, then she doesn't hear that. It's bad timing. Linda goes upstairs to be muzzled and attacked by the killer, while then the girls realize, oh, well, the door's unlocked. Let's just go in the front door.
Because both of those girls think they live there.
They
act the whole movie. They act like they live there. So
well, I would just walk into your house.
Yeah, but this is like, it's like you wouldn't answer my phone though, unless I told you to.
I mean, if it was the upstairs line, probably.
That's what I'm saying. Like, unless I told you to, though, you wouldn't. You don't just answer people's landlines unless, like, when you don't live there, unless someone's like, hey, can you get it?
Yeah, or you'd say, Smith's residence.
Yeah, exactly. We had that same conversation, Katie and I did. We were like, you don't just answer people's phones at other people's houses.
Yeah. Can you get that? Yeah. And then, yeah, I was always the weirdest thing to answer. Like, I was like, what do I say? Hello? Good evening.
Good evening. What if that was your go-to even in the morning?
Good night.
Even in the morning, you always said good evening no matter what. You should start doing that.
And then at night, I'll say top of the morning to you.
No, just good night, good evening for everything.
Okay.
So sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't.
I'll do that.
You please start doing that. I'll start doing it. It's hilarious. Like, no one really calls me though. We text, but I'll always say good evening.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, sometimes I accidentally do it anyway. I don't say good evening to anybody, but like, I'll be like, have a good night. And it's like 1 o'clock.
And then,
like, oh, sorry.
And right after that, it ends with the same like scalpel or death stare from his eyeballs. And then it pauses and it's over.
And then it's over. And you have no idea what's happened because every single thing in that movie, like, because it turns out that the first thing that you didn't think was a dream was a dream.
And they try to trick you. So yeah,
there are 3 different dreams.
When she wakes up for the final time in her bed, I looked over and I wrote this note down immediately. Immediately, I said, "Jesus Christ, this was all a dream." I said, "I hate my life."
Yeah, so it was a dream within a dream within a dream with maybe within another dream. I can't remember because there were so many. And then we really don't know if that was a dream because everything else was. So why wouldn't this be? I don't know.
I think this is a prequel to Freddy Krueger.
Came out like 4 years after that.
That's how meta this shit is, okay?
Oh, right. Maybe. Okay, and also another thing, before we start going into like, there are really no fun facts, but there are a few.
Oh, I have a fun review to read before.
But, I have never seen. Okay, all I could find was that
Two
it was
pretty best friends. Two pretty best friends.
I wouldn't say pretty. So, I know it was shot on video, but I can't find any more information on what type of video because I have never in my life seen any kind of video stock footage that looks like that. Not home video, nothing, because literally everything is neon. And I mean, I was legit being like, I want to know what kind of film they're using or whatever. Like, what are they using that's making it look like this? Because I've never seen this.
I'm pretty sure ever. It was a JVC GRC1 trash.
Shut up.
With a VHC videotape. Isn't that what we used? No, we didn't use those.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't even look like a home video. It looked slightly better than a home video, I guess. But like, I don't know. Can someone, if you hear this and know, can you tell me what they use? Because like, I just want to know because it's bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. And I have seen the worst of the worst movies and I've never seen anything like this. So,
I mean, well, have you seen the porn of Tanya Harding's honeymoon? I'm just saying. That's a thing.
No.
And I mean, her wedding dress was horrendous enough. So anyway.
God. Okay. So the only thing that by the way, they had a Xanadu poster in the room too.
That's actually cool though. I'm down with that. I'm down with Xanadu. But here's the review that of all the reviews that I saw was the best, and it was written in 2002, so some like clearly way after. And the title of the review is "Wow" with 5 exclamation points. And it says, this movie, by far, is the best, and it's a 10 out of 10 rating. This movie, by far, is the best horror movie of all time. The plot twists, the acting, the sheer suspense and excitement is incredibly spellbinding. I recommend this movie to anyone who loves to be freaked out. And when I say freaked out, I mean all caps, freaked out, with 6 exclamation points. Girls trapped in a house with a killer on the loose. How do you come up with this stuff? This movie.
I wrote a review for this.
Well, we'll get yours after.
I'm going to try to find it. I'm going to try to find it.
This movie has This movie has a successful formula to it, and many, many writers of horror movies and directors of the horror genre need to study this movie inside and out to learn what it is that's truly scary. If you want to see a movie that makes you pee your pants, check out The Last Slumber Party. Pure genius. This has to be satire.
That has to be someone that's in the movie.
The user's name is Darth Trippy from IMDb, and it is literally.
I can't believe you didn't find Chica 17s.
Oh, is it on there?
I think so. I'm trying to find it right now. So.
I mean, this person's review has got to be.
Oh, I found it. I found it.
Let's do
Only 1 out of 2 found this helpful. Okay, I wrote this in the year 2000. Okay, so only 2
years prior.
What?
Only 2 years before Darth Trippy wrote the one I said.
I gave it a 1 out of 10. I said I would most definitely have to. I must have only watched it once because I think I wouldn't review it the same way if. Well, whatever.
What was the actual date?
June 5th, 2000.
I wonder if this 2000, we would have been in classes together watching, but I don't know that Chica 17 would have been. Well, anyway, whatever. Keep going.
We would have been on summer vacation.
Yeah.
So I would most definitely have to say that this is the most terrible movie I've ever seen. It's not just the actors that are bad, but also the fact that the camera person taped the wall and the clocks for about 5 minutes at a time. Anyone that likes this movie must be crazy. In all caps, it says, this movie is a waste of time. That's the end of it.
And what was the name? What was your review title?
What is this? Question mark, exclamation point. Yeah, Chica 17 reviewed this movie, Jailbait, that MTV movie.
I remember that one.
Mother's Day, The Goonies, River's Edge, Stewardess School, Pledge Night, which is only like 2 sentences, and Sleepaway Camp. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I absolutely love it.
I know in Jailbait, I do say it's definitely not as good as Together.
Oh, no, not at all.
No.
But I guess one of my final thoughts on this movie is, and we'll get into some more.
Give your stars again because I can't.
Either a half a star or 1 star.
I'm going to give it 1.5.
You know what? I might raise it up to 1 to 1.5, and that half difference might be to all the anti-maskers out there. This guy This guy slaughtered a lot of people.
Steven Tyler wrote on one of his Instagram posts that he was ahead of his time. He was ahead of the time. He was wearing masks the whole time because of COVID. He wrote that. Y'all follow Steven Tyler, the maniac.
Yeah, he's gonna stare you down. He's gonna win.
He says tee-hee a lot too.
So I will say, guys, thanks for listening, and stay gagged with orange juice and stay gagged with scalpel.
And actually, you need to watch this movie. You need to watch it at least once. It's unbelievable. And if you just feel like you can't watch that, watch the Riff Tracks version. It's hilarious. So we will see you next time. Stay gagged. Stay gagged with a Sesame Street poster, in fact.
Stay gagged with the most disorienting wallpaper in the world.
Right. And go blind. Bye.
Deuces.